I hope you enjoy the story. Let's begin. The blue glow of the computer screen cast harsh shadows across Aaron Whitmore's face as he typed a final email. Rain pattered against the office windows, matching the rhythm of his keystrokes. 10 o'clock. Again. Third night this week that he rubbed his eyes, feeling the familiar burn of fatigue. The software project was almost complete, another success to add to his impeccable record. Aaron lived by a simple code: commit fully or don't bother at all. It had served him well, both professionally and personally, at least until recently. Heading out, Whitmore asked Julian from the doorway, laptop bag slung over his shoulder. Aaron nodded, saving his work and shutting down his computer. Just finished. Another late night. Ashley must be getting used to it by now. She understands, Aaron said with quiet confidence, though a flicker of uncertainty passed through him. The drive home was quiet apart from the steady patter of rain and the occasional swish of wipers. Aaron's mind wandered to Ashley. Lately, things had felt different. Small changes in routine. The way her smile sometimes didn't reach her eyes. More girls' nights out than usual. Nothing concrete, nothing he could point to. Just instinct. Their house was dark when he pulled into the driveway, the absence of Ashley's car telling its own story. Another night out. Aaron stood in the empty kitchen, the silence pressing in on him. He checked his phone. No messages. He opened the refrigerator and found a plate of pasta covered in plastic wrap with a yellow post-it note. Working late, then drinks with Naomi. Don't wait up. XO. The handwriting seemed rushed. The XO an afterthought. Aaron heated the pasta and ate alone at their kitchen island, scrolling through emails. His phone buzzed. A voicemail from Ashley. He pressed play, expecting an explanation for her absence. Chase, baby. Her voice purred through the speaker, sending an electric shock through Aaron's body. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Aaron's working late again, so we'll have the whole afternoon. I miss your hands on me, the way you. The message cut off abruptly. Wrong number. Wrong recipient. But the right truth. Aaron replayed it. Once. Twice. His hand remained steady as he saved the message, his face a mask of calm despite the storm brewing inside. He set the phone down gently on the counter, the way someone might handle an unexploded bomb. He finished his pasta, each bite tasteless now. Then he washed the dish, dried it, and put it away. Perfect order amidst chaos. The rain intensified outside, drumming against the windows of their empty home. Aaron walked to the living room window, staring out at the wet darkness. The careful architecture of his life built on trust, loyalty, and precision now showed its first visible crack. His reflection in the rain-streaked glass stared back, eyes hardened with resolve. This wasn't just about a betrayal. This was about respect. About consequences. Aaron Whitmore didn't break things. He fixed them. Or, when necessary, he dismantled them with surgical precision. The next morning, Aaron moved through his routine with mechanical precision, brewing coffee as Ashley breezed into the kitchen. Her hair was still damp from the shower, cheeks flushed. Too bright, too animated for someone who claimed to have had just a couple of drinks. Morning, she said, kissing his cheek quickly. Sleep well. Fine, Aaron replied, sliding a cup of coffee toward her across the island. He watched her over the rim of his own mug, noting the way she avoided meeting his eyes for more than a second. How was her night with Naomi? Fun. Just what I needed. Ashley rummaged through her purse, seemingly looking for something. We tried that new wine bar on Jefferson. Jefferson, huh? Aaron nodded, keeping his face neutral. That's a nice spot. You been there? She looked up, surprised. Client dinner last month. He hadn't been there at all, but her reaction told him everything. The wine bar on Jefferson had closed 3 months ago. Maybe we should go sometime. Definitely, she agreed too quickly, returning to her purse. Found it. She pulled out her lip balm triumphantly, as if it were a shield against further questions. Aaron took another sip of coffee, remembering the voicemail. Chase. The name had been rattling in his mind all night. Common enough that it could be anyone, but somehow he doubted it. Ashley checked her watch. I've got to run. Brunch meeting with a client. On Saturday. Another lie slipping from her lips so easily it made Aaron wonder how long this had been going on. Weekend meetings? You're dedicated. He commented that Ashley's laugh was high and brittle. That's why they pay me the big bucks. She grabbed her keys and bag, breezing toward the door in a cloud of perfume different from her usual scent. Don't wait on me for dinner. It might run late. After she left, Aaron stood in the silence of their kitchen. He placed his mug in the dishwasher and methodically wiped down the counter, cleaning away invisible crumbs. His phone buzzed. Will Porter, one of their closest friends. Hey man, we still on for coffee? Aaron texted back a confirmation. Perhaps Will had noticed something too. At the coffee shop was already waiting, 2 cups on the table. He stood to greet Aaron with a firm handshake that turned into a quick hug. You look like shit, Will said bluntly, pushing one of the cups toward Aaron. Long week. Just work. Will's question hung in the air between them. Aaron took a deep breath. You tell me. Will hesitated, running a hand through his hair. Look, man, I've been debating whether to say anything. About? I saw Ashley last week. In the Pearl District. Aaron kept his face expressionless. She shops there sometimes. She wasn't shopping. Will lowered his voice. She was with some guy at River and Bistro. They looked close. What did he look like? Aaron asked, his voice measured. Tall. Dark hair. Built like he spends half his life in the gym. Will grimaced, touching her hand across the table. I ducked out before they saw me. Aaron nodded slowly, pieces falling into place. Thanks for telling me. What are you going to do? Aaron took a long sip of his coffee. Nothing yet. I need more information. You're too calm about this, Will said, studying his friend. If it were Naomi, we're different people. Aaron cut him off. I don't make decisions without all the facts. Will leaned back, a mixture of respect and concern on his face. Whatever you need, I'm here. They finished their coffee, talking about safer topics. The Blazers' chances, Will's new project at work, the unusually rainy spring. But underneath ran a current of unspoken tension. The knowledge that Aaron's carefully ordered world was shifting as they parted ways outside. Will gripped Aaron's shoulder. Don't let this eat at you, man. Whatever's happening, deal with it before it deals with you. Aaron nodded, appreciating his friend's concern. I intend to. He walked back to his car, mind already churning with possibilities. Ashley's lies, the mysterious chase, the carefully constructed facade of their marriage cracking like thin ice under spring sun. Aaron didn't break. He didn't rage. He planned. The Portland sky had cleared by Sunday afternoon, bringing unexpected sunshine that drew people outdoors in droves. Aaron sat across from Naomi at a sidewalk cafe, watching pedestrians stroll past with ice cream cones and shopping bags. Ashley was catching up on work, leaving him free to meet with her closest friend without arousing suspicion. Naomi stirred her iced tea nervously. It's nice us grabbing lunch. We don't do this enough. No, we don't. Aaron agreed, his tone pleasant but eyes watchful. Ashley's been so busy lately. Work is crazy for everyone right now, Naomi said quickly. That's what she tells me. Aaron took a bite of his sandwich, chewing thoughtfully. All these late nights and weekend meetings. Naomi's fingers tightened around her glass. You know, agency life and girls' nights. Aaron kept his voice casual. She mentioned you two tried that new wine bar on Jefferson the other night. A flicker of confusion crossed Naomi's face. Jefferson? No, we went to. She stopped abruptly, realizing her mistake. I mean, yes. It was nice. Aaron leaned forward slightly. Naomi, we've known each other for what? 8 years now. She nodded, avoiding his gaze. So let's not insult each other with lies. His voice remained gentle, but his eyes hardened. When was the last time you actually had a girls' night with Ashley? Naomi stared at her lap, silent for a long moment. Aaron, I don't want to be in the middle of this. You already are. She looked up, conflict clear on her face. About a month ago, we did have dinner, but she left early. Said she had a client emergency. And did you believe her? Naomi's silence was answer enough. Do you know who he is? Aaron asked, his calm exterior belying the storm within. I've only heard her mention a name once. Chase. That's all I know. Naomi's voice dropped to a whisper. She doesn't tell me details. I think she knows I don't approve. Aaron absorbed this confirmation without visible reaction, though something icy settled in his chest. Chase. Do you know his last name? No, I swear. Naomi reached across the table impulsively, grabbing his hand. Aaron, I'm so sorry. I should have said something sooner, but I hoped it would burn itself out. Aaron gently withdrew his hand. We both know Ashley better than that. Naomi's eyes welled with tears. What are you going to do? That depends on what else I discover. Aaron signaled for the check. Thank you for being honest. Finally, Aaron, please don't tell her we talked. She'll know it was me. He studied her for a moment. Your loyalty seems confused, Naomi. Figure out where it belongs. As Aaron drove home, his mind worked methodically through the information he'd gathered. His wife was having an affair with someone named Chase. No last name yet, but the puzzle was taking shape. At home, Aaron went to his office, a space Ashley rarely entered. He booted up his personal laptop and began his search with clinical detachment. Private investigators. No dramatic confrontations, just careful observation and the slow accumulation of evidence. He reviewed their credit card statements online, noting charges at restaurants and hotels on days Ashley claimed to be working late or with friends. He checked their shared calendar, identifying patterns in her absences. Then he remembered something. The gym. Ashley had insisted they join the upscale fitness center downtown last year, though she'd been the only one who used it regularly. Aaron had gone a handful of times, enough to recognize the staff and regular members. He pulled up the gym's website and scrolled through the trainer profiles. There, smiling confidently at the camera, Chase Landon, personal trainer. Dark hair, athletic build, exactly as Will had described. Aaron leaned back in his chair, the final piece clicking into place. He searched Chase's name online, finding social media profiles and a wedding announcement from 5 years ago. Chase Landon, married to Mary Landon, owner of Landon Gallery in the Pearl District. Oh, they were both betraying spouses. The symmetry was almost poetic. Aaron closed his laptop, a cold clarity settling over him. He didn't need a rush. Didn't need to confront Ashley in some dramatic, emotional scene that would give her the upper hand. No, this required strategy. Precision. He thought of Mary Landon, wondering if she suspected or knew. Another victim in this sordid game, or perhaps a potential ally. The rain returned that evening, pattering against the windows as Aaron sat alone in the darkened living room. When Ashley finally came home after 9, hair slightly damp from the rain, she jumped at the sight of him. You startled me, she said, forcing a laugh. Why are you sitting in the dark? Aaron switched on the lamp beside him. Just thinking. About work? About loyalty, he said quietly. What it means. Something flickered across Ashley's face, worry. Perhaps guilt, but she quickly masked it with a yawn. Deep thoughts for a Sunday night. I'm exhausted. Coming to bed soon. Aaron nodded. In a bit. She hesitated, then leaned down to kiss his forehead. Don't stay up too late. After she left, Aaron remained in the living room, listening to the rain. The crack in his life had widened to a chasm, but unlike most men, he wouldn't leap blindly across it. He would build a bridge of evidence, of careful planning, and when he was ready, he would cross it with devastating purpose. The Landon Gallery stood out among the art spaces in Portland's Pearl District, not the largest or most avant-garde, but distinguished by its thoughtful curation. Aaron lingered outside, watching patrons drift in and out of the evening's opening reception. Through the large windows, he could see elegant people with wine glasses circulating among abstract paintings that splashed color across the white walls. Among them moved Mary Landon, tall, striking, with dark hair, swept into a simple knot. From his research, Aaron knew she was 39, just 3 years older than Ashley. But even from a distance, she projected a different energy, sharper, more self-contained. Aaron adjusted his tie and entered the gallery, accepting a glass of white wine from a server. He moved casually through the space, pausing to study various paintings. The art was surprisingly bold, vivid colors and strong lines that suggested barely contain emotion. First time at our gallery. Aaron turned to find Mary Landon beside him, professional smile in place. Up close, he noted the intelligence in her eyes, the slight tension in her shoulders. Yes, he replied. The collection is impressive. Thank you. This show focuses on transformation through disruption. She gestured to the painting before them, a serene landscape fractured by jagged red lines. The artist explores how unexpected breaks in our reality force new perspectives. Fitting, Aaron commented. Some breaks are necessary for growth. Something in his tone made her look at him more closely. Are you an art collector, Mr. Whitmore? Aaron Whitmore. And no, just an admirer. Though this particular theme speaks to me. He moved to the next, painting a shattered mirror reflecting multiple distorted images. Do you find that most people resist these disruptions, even when they're inevitable? Mary studied him, professional smile fading into something more genuine. Most people cling to comfortable illusions until they're forced to see truth. She extended her hand. Mary Landon, this is my gallery. A pleasure. Aaron shook her hand, noting her firm grip. Your husband must be proud of what you've created here. The slightest flinch quickly masked. Chase supports my work in his way. She glanced around the crowded room. Are you here alone, Mr. Whitmore? Aaron, please. And yes, my wife had other commitments tonight, as did my husband. Mary's smile turned brittle. Personal training sessions run late sometimes. The subtext hung between them, unacknowledged but palpable. Aaron moved to a smaller painting in a quiet corner, two intertwined figures pulling away from each other, connected only by a thin red thread. This one is particularly moving. Mary joined him. The artist calls it Betrayal's Thread. Evocative title. Betrayal leaves marks that never fully heal, Mary said quietly. It rewrites your story without permission. Aaron turned to face her directly. Some stories need rewriting. Their eyes met, a moment of silent understanding passing between them. No accusations, no names, just the shared recognition of parallel pain. Would you like to hear more about the artist process? Mary asked, professional veneer sliding back into place for passing patrons. Very much. Aaron nodded. I believe understanding the process helps appreciate the final result. They moved through the gallery, ostensibly discussing art, while exchanging carefully coded observations about trust, deception, and consequences. By the time Aaron left an hour later, no direct mention of Ashley or Chase had been made, yet both understood perfectly what had transpired. Outside in the cool evening air, Aaron paused to look back at the gallery. Mary stood by the window, watching him. He nodded once, an acknowledgement and a promise. She returned the gesture before turning back to her guests. The first connection had been made. Not romantic, something more practical and potentially more powerful. A shared grievance. A mutual understanding. As Aaron drove home, he felt the weight of his wedding ring on his finger. For the first time in weeks, the path forward seemed clear. The coffee shop sat tucked between a bookstore and a vintage clothing boutique, far enough from both their usual haunts to ensure privacy. Aaron arrived first, selecting a table in the back corner with a clear view of the entrance. He ordered black coffee and waited, reviewing mental notes for this crucial conversation. Mary Landon arrived precisely on time, dressed in a simple black turtleneck and trousers that suggested professional poise rather than a clandestine meeting. She spotted him immediately, her expression composed as she crossed the room. Thank you for agreeing to meet, Aaron said, standing to greet her. Mary slid into the chair opposite him. Your message was intriguing. Mutual interests to discuss. Appropriately vague. A server approached, and Mary ordered an Americano. When they were alone again, she leaned forward slightly. Let's be direct, Mr. Whitmore. Why are we here? Aaron met her gaze steadily. I believe our spouses are having an affair. No shock registered on her face, just a slight tightening around her eyes. What evidence do you have? Several pieces. Aaron took out his phone, pulled up a document, and slid it across the table. Text message record between my wife's phone and a number registered to your husband. Meeting times, locations. A voicemail meant for him, but accidentally sent to me. Mary scanned the information, her composure impressive. Only the whitening of her knuckles around her coffee cup betrayed her emotion. How long have you known? She asked quietly. With certainty? 2 weeks. Suspected for longer. Aaron watched her carefully. And you? Mary's laugh held no humor. Women usually know first, but proving it is another matter. She passed his phone back. I've seen hotel charges, unexplained absences, the classic signs. Yet you haven't confronted him. To what end? Mary shrugged. Denials. Promises to change. The typical script. Her eyes narrowed. But you didn't ask me here to compare notes on our failing marriages. Aaron nodded, respecting her directness. I want to propose an alliance. Not for reconciliation that ship has sailed, but for something more satisfying. Revenge. Mary raised an eyebrow. Justice. Aaron corrected. On our terms. Public. Undeniable. Their coffees arrived. Mary stirred hers slowly, considering. What exactly are you suggesting? They've taken control of our narratives without our consent, Aaron said. I intend to reclaim mine. I thought you might want the same opportunity. By doing what exactly? Making a scene? That's not my style. Nor mine. I'm thinking of something more elegant. Aaron leaned forward. They believe they're clever, hiding in plain sight. What if we use that against them? Mary's interest visibly piqued. Go on. I've been gathering intelligence. Ashley's been meeting Chase for what she calls business dinners on Friday nights at different restaurants. I believe I can predict their next location. And then what? We both show up and pour drinks over their heads. Mary scoffed. That's hardly dignified. Nothing so crude. Aaron's voice remained measured. We make a reservation at the same restaurant. We let them see us together. We let them wonder and worry. And then, when the moment is right, we present our evidence. Calmly, publicly, evidence beyond what you've shown me. Much more. Financial records. Photos from the private booth at River and Bistro. The works. Mary was silent for a long moment, weighing his proposal. Why public? Why not handle this privately? Because they've made fools of us privately for months. Because some betrayals deserve witnesses. She studied him, reassessing. You're not what I expected, Aaron Whitmore. You seem so controlled. I value order, Aaron acknowledged. And consequences. This plan of yours, it isn't just about exposing them, is it? Mary's perceptiveness was impressive. You want something more. Aaron's eyes hardened slightly. I want them to lose something, just as we have. Standing. Security. The comfort of their deception. Mary took a sip of her coffee, decision forming behind her eyes. If we do this, and I'm not saying I agree, yet we need rules. No physical confrontation. No scenes that make us look unhinged. Absolutely. This is about calculated impact, not emotional outbursts. And after? What then? Aaron hadn't expected this question. That's up to you. For me, divorce is inevitable. I've already consulted an attorney. Mary nodded slowly. I need to see all your evidence. Everything. If I'm going to put myself in this position, I need to be certain. Aaron took out a slim USB drive and placed it on the table. Everything's here. Take your time reviewing it. She pocketed the drive. I'll call you tomorrow with my decision. They finished their coffee in companionable silence. Two strangers united by shared betrayal. As they prepared to leave, Mary paused. Why did you come to me? She asked. You could have handled this alone. 2 reasons, Aaron replied honestly. First, you deserve to know the truth. Second, justice is more powerful when witnessed by those who understand its necessity. Mary considered this, then extended her hand. Tomorrow, then. Aaron shook it firmly. Tomorrow. As they parted ways outside the coffee shop, no one passing by would have guessed the nature of their meeting or the alliance forming between them. Just 2 professionals concluding a business discussion, their true intentions hidden behind composed exteriors. The storm was gathering. Soon it would break. Aaron sat at his desk, phone pressed to his ear as he listened to Ashley's voicemail greeting for the 3rd time that afternoon. He ended the call without leaving a message, noting the time. 2:17 p.m. on a Tuesday, when she should have been at work. His computer screen displayed an email from Mary Landon. Evidence reviewed. We need to talk. Available this evening. He typed a quick affirmative response, then returned to the task at hand. Through careful observation of Ashley's patterns, he narrowed down the most likely restaurant for her next business dinner with Chase. 3 upscale establishments in downtown Portland fit their usual profile. Now he needed confirmation that Aaron's phone buzzed with a text from Will. Drinks tonight? Can't tonight. Tomorrow? Sure. Everything okay? Will's concern was evident even through text. Getting there, Aaron replied. not elaborating further. He checked his watch, then picked up his desk phone and dialed the first restaurant on his list. Bellamy's. How may I help you? A hostess answered. Good afternoon. I'm calling to confirm a reservation for Friday evening. Under Whitmore or possibly Landon. Let me check, sir. A pause. I'm sorry, I don't see either name for Friday. Thank you. Aaron hung up and tried the second restaurant with the same result. His call to the third restaurant, Riviera, yielded different results. Yes, Mr. Landon has a reservation for 2 at 8 p.m. The hostess sounded pleased. A window table, as requested. Perfect. Thank you for confirming. Aaron ended the call, a cold satisfaction settling over him. Target confirmed. Now for the venue preparation that he pulled up the contact information for Lydia Carver, owner of Riviera. 2 years ago, Aaron had helped her navigate a complex software lawsuit that had threatened her business. She'd promised to repay the favor someday. That day had arrived. He dialed her direct number, which few customers possessed. Aaron Whitmore. Lydia answered warmly. It's been too long. What can I do for you? Hello, Lydia. I'm calling to cash in that favor you once offered. There was a pause. I'm listening. I need a reservation for 2 at Riviera this Friday, 8 p.m., and I need a specific table. The restaurant's fully booked Friday, but for you, I'll make it happen. Which table? Adjacent to the window, table reserved under Landon. Lydia's tone changed, growing more serious. Aaron, that sounds complicated. It is. Aaron kept his voice even. There's a situation I need to address. Discreetly, but publicly. Should I be concerned about disruptions to my restaurant? No scenes, no raised voices, he promised. Just a necessary confrontation. You have my word it will remain civil. Lydia sighed. Your help saved my business. Reservation confirmed for 2 at 7:45. I'll personally handle the seating arrangements. Thank you, Lydia. One more thing. I may need a small assist from your staff when the time comes. Tell me what you need. Aaron outlined his request. When he finished, Lydia was silent for a moment. That's an unusual request, but doable, she finally said. I assume there's a good reason? The best, Aaron assured her. Then consider it done. I'll text you confirmation details. After ending the call, Aaron sat back in his chair, pieces falling into place. The battlefield was secured. Now to finalize the strategy with his unexpected ally. That evening, Aaron met Mary at a small Italian restaurant in a quiet neighborhood, far from their usual haunts. They sat in a corner booth, voices low despite the privacy. The evidence is conclusive, Mary said without preamble. I'm in. Aaron nodded. I've confirmed they have reservations at Riviera this Friday, 8 p.m. We'll be seated at the adjacent table. You've been busy. Mary looked impressed despite herself. And what happens after we're seated? We act normal. 2 colleagues or friends having dinner. We let them notice us. They'll be uncomfortable, possibly leave. They won't, Aaron countered. Ashley hates public scenes more than anything. She'll pretend everything is normal. Chase will follow her lead. Mary considered this. Then what? Aaron detailed the rest of his plan, watching Mary's expression shift from skepticism to reluctant admiration. That's ruthlessly elegant, she admitted when he finished. But it hinges on perfect timing, which is why I need your complete commitment. Once we start, there's no backing out. Mary sipped her wine, studying him. You're not what most people would expect from a wronged husband. No rage, no impulsiveness. Rage is inefficient. Precision is everything. To precision, then. Mary raised her glass in a toast. And to justice. They clinked glasses, sealing their pact. As they finished dinner, discussing final details, Mary asked the question Aaron had been expecting. Do you think they love each other? Aaron considered this. Does it matter? I suppose not, Mary acknowledged. But I wonder what they tell themselves to justify it. People construct elaborate narratives to excuse their worst behavior, Aaron said. Our job is to shatter those narratives. Mary nodded, a new resolve in her eyes. Friday, then. I should warn you. I'll be bringing something additional to the table. Oh, you're not the only one who's been gathering evidence. A small, fierce smile played at her lips. Chase has been careless in other areas of his life, too. Aaron raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Care to elaborate? Let's keep some surprises for Friday. Mary stood to leave. I'll meet you at Riviera at 7:30. Or something memorable. As he watched her walk away, Aaron felt a flicker of admiration for this woman who'd channeled her pain into such focused purpose. They were more alike than he'd initially realized, both valuing order, both demanding consequences for betrayal. The battlefield was chosen. The allies prepared. Now they waited for the perfect moment to strike. Aaron's younger brother, Evan, stood in Aaron's home office, arms folded as he leaned against the bookshelf. At 35, he shared Aaron's height and build, but where Aaron projected contained intensity, Evan radiated an easy charm that disguised his sharp intelligence. "You're sure about this?" Evan asked, examining the small microphone in his palm. "Seems like overkill." "It's insurance," Aaron replied, sorting through documents on his desk. "Everything needs to be documented. Getting Mary Landon involved, orchestrating this dinner ambush." Evan shook his head. "Why not just confront Ashley directly? Or hell, just file for divorce and be done with it?" Aaron looked up, meeting his brother's concerned gaze. "This isn't just about ending a marriage. It's about truth. Consequences. Revenge, you mean? Justice." Aaron corrected. "Ashley and Chase didn't just have an affair. They systematically lied, manipulated people who trusted them. Actions have consequences." Evan sighed, recognizing the resolve in his brother's eyes. "You know I've got your back. Always have." He held up the microphone. "So this goes where?" "Inside jacket pocket. It connects to my phone to record everything." "Isn't recording without consent illegal in Oregon?" Aaron's smile was tight. "Not in public places where there's no reasonable expectation of privacy." "I checked." Evan nodded, impressed despite his reservations. "Always thorough. It matters." Aaron sorted through more papers, selecting several to place in a slim folder. "This has to be handled perfectly." The doorbell rang, interrupting them. Aaron checked his watch. "That'll be Naomi." Evan raised an eyebrow. "Ashley's friend? That's a complicated addition." "She's wavering. I need to know where she stands before Friday." Aaron went to answer the door, finding Naomi on the porch looking nervous. Her eyes widened at the sight of Evan when they entered the living room. "I didn't know anyone else would be here," she said, clutching her purse tightly. "My brother's helping me with something," Aaron explained. "He'll give us privacy in a minute." Evan took the hint. "I'll be in the kitchen." "Want some coffee, Naomi?" "No, thanks." Her voice was tight. Once Evan left, Aaron gestured for Naomi to sit. She perched on the edge of the couch, tension radiating from her. "Ashley knows we talked," she blurted out. "She confronted me yesterday." Aaron remained calm. "What did you tell her?" "That you had questions, but I didn't reveal anything." Naomi's eyes were pleading. "Aaron, I'm caught in the middle here. Ashley's been my friend for years, but what she's doing is wrong. I don't know what to do." "You pick a side," Aaron said, his voice gentle but firm. "Not mine, not hers. Truth or deception. It's not that simple." "It is." Aaron leaned forward. "Naomi, I'm not asking you to betray Ashley. She's already betrayed both of us. I'm asking you to stand for what's right. By helping you humiliate her publicly, she told me about Friday night, that she saw your name on the reservation list somehow. She's paranoid you're following her. So Ashley knew he'd be at Riviera." "Interesting. What else did she say?" Naomi hesitated. "That you wouldn't understand. That things between you have been dead for years." She looked down. "That chase makes her feel alive again." Aaron absorbed this without visible reaction, though the words cut deep. "And you believe that justifies months of lies?" "No," Naomi admitted. "But Aaron, this plan of yours, it seems so cold, as opposed to what they did, which was warm and considerate." The edge of his voice made Naomi flinch. Aaron took a breath, modulating his tone. "I'm not asking you to participate, just to understand why this needs to happen." "What do you need from me, then?" "Neutrality. If Ashley asks about my plans, you don't know anything." Naomi nodded slowly. "I can do that." She paused. "For what it's worth, I never approved of what she's doing. Never. Yet you kept her secret. I thought it would end, that she'd come to her senses." Naomi looked up, eyes shining with unshed tears. "She's making a terrible mistake, Aaron. You're a good man." Aaron stood, signaling the end of their conversation. Friday will change everything, Naomi. Be prepared for that. After she left, Evan emerged from the kitchen. That sounded intense. Ashley knows I'll be at Riviera, Aaron said. She suspects something. Will that change your plans? Aaron considered this, then shook his head. No, it adds an element of anticipation that might actually work in our favor. You're scary sometimes, you know that, Evan said, but his tone held admiration. So cold and calculated about all this. Not cold, Aaron corrected. Controlled. There's a difference. Evan nodded, conceding the point. Need me to be there Friday? Back up. No. This need to be just Mary and me. Clean, precise. Evan stepped forward, placing the microphone on the desk. All set. Battery lasts 6 hours. He gripped Aaron's shoulder. Whatever happens, remember you've got family who has your back. After Evan left, Aaron remained in his office, reviewing every detail of his plan. The pieces were in motion. Ashley knew he would be at Riviera, but not why. She would be on edge, perhaps even ready to confront him. Perfect. Let her think she had the upper hand. The psychological advantage of perceived control before it all came crashing down. Aaron checked his phone, finding a text from Mary. Final preparations complete. Are you ready? He typed back a simple, absolutely. 2 more days until everything changed. Aaron felt no satisfaction, no anticipation of emotional release. Just the calm certainty of a man who had found his path forward through the wreckage of betrayal. Not with rage, but with precision. Friday evening arrived with unusual clarity for Portland in spring. The sunset painted the city in shades of amber and gold as Aaron stood before his closet, selecting his armor for the night ahead. He chose a charcoal suit that Ashley had always admired, paired with a deep blue tie. Not for her benefit, but for the message it would send. He was unbowed, unbroken. His wedding ring remained on his finger one last night as a symbol not of love, but of broken promises. The phone on his dresser buzzed with a text from Mary. In position. She's wearing red. He looks nervous. So they had arrived early. Aaron checked his watch, 7:30. Right on schedule, he drove downtown with mechanical precision, parking in the garage near Riviera. The walk to the restaurant gave him time to center himself, to review the plan one final time. In his breast pocket, the microphone Evan had installed rested against his heart. In his inner jacket pocket, a slim folder contained everything needed to shatter the carefully constructed lies. Lydia Carver met him at the entrance, her professional smile warming with genuine concern. Everything is arranged as requested, she said quietly, leading him into the restaurant. The special dessert is prepared. Thank you, Lydia. I appreciate your discretion. She nodded, guiding him through the elegant dining room. Table 7, as promised. Your companion has already arrived. At the table sat Mary Landon, striking in a black dress that suggested funeral elegance. Her dark hair fell in loose waves around her shoulders, and her makeup was flawless armor of a different kind. She rose slightly as Aaron approached, her composed expression betraying nothing of the tumult this evening would bring. Right on time, she murmured as he took his seat. Aaron surveyed the room casually, quickly locating Ashley and Chase at the window table. Ashley wore a fitted red dress he'd never seen before, her blonde hair swept up to reveal the nape of her neck. Chase leaned toward her, saying something that made her laugh, a sound that once meant everything to Aaron but now rang hollow. Ashley hadn't noticed him yet. Good. They look comfortable, Mary observed, voice neutral. Practiced. They won't be for long. Aaron opened his menu. Shall we begin? They ordered wine and appetizers, maintaining the appearance of a normal dinner. Their conversation remained deliberately professional, two colleagues discussing business, nothing that would raise suspicions if overheard. When their wine arrived, Mary raised her glass. To clarity, she said, loud enough to carry. And consequences, Aaron added, clinking his glass against hers. The sound caught Ashley's attention. Her head turned, eyes widening as they locked with Aaron's across the room. The color drained from her face before quickly returning in a flush of alarm or anger, perhaps both. Chase followed her gaze, his reaction more controlled, but equally telling a slight stiffening of his shoulders, a forced smile as he turned back to Ashley, speaking rapidly in low tones. They've seen us, Mary noted unnecessarily. She looks rattled. She'll recover, Aaron predicted. She always does. True to his assessment, Ashley visibly composed herself, leaning back in her chair with deliberate casualness. She whispered something to Chase, then, in a bold move that surprised even Aaron, raised her glass in their direction before taking a sip. Impressive recovery, Mary conceded, though a bit desperate. Their appetizers arrived, delaying the next phase of their plan. They ate unhurriedly, aware of frequent glances from the window table, but not acknowledging them. "Are you nervous?" Mary asked quietly. Aaron considered the question. "No. This moment has felt inevitable since I heard that voicemail." "No second thoughts? No desire to just walk away?" "None." Aaron met her gaze steadily. "You?" Mary shook her head. "I just want it done." As their main courses arrived, the tension in the restaurant thickened. Ashley and Chase maintained their facade of romantic dinner, but their movements had become stilted, performative. Twice Ashley checked her phone, perhaps texting for advice or support. Chase drank his wine too quickly, signaling for another glass. "She's getting bolder," Mary noted as Ashley's laugh rang out, deliberately louder than necessary. "Making a point." "Desperation," Aaron replied, unmoved. "She thinks if she acts unconcerned, we'll back down. She doesn't know you very well, does she?" The question hung between them as they continued their meal. Aaron found himself studying Mary with new appreciation. Her composure, her clarity of purpose matched his own. In another life, under different circumstances, they might have been friends. "It's time," he said finally, checking his watch. "Are you ready?" Mary drew a deep breath, the first crack in her composure. "Yes." Aaron made eye contact with Lydia across the room, giving the slightest nod. She acknowledged with a similar gesture before disappearing into the kitchen and to the window table. Ashley leaned toward Chase, their fingers intertwined on the tablecloth. The intimacy of the gesture struck Aaron like a physical blow, not from pain, but from the sheer audacity. She knew he was watching. This was deliberate. Mary saw it too. "Now," she said, her voice hardening. Aaron stood, Mary following suit. They approached the window table with unhurried confidence. Ashley saw them coming, her smile freezing in place. Chase started to rise, but Aaron gestured for him to remain seated. "Ashley," Aaron said coolly. "Chase, mind if we join you?" Without waiting for an answer, he pulled out a chair from a nearby empty table and sat. Mary did the same. "Aaron, what are you doing?" Ashley hissed, her composure cracking. "This is inappropriate." "Inappropriate." Aaron raised an eyebrow. An interesting choice of words. Chase cleared his throat. "Look, man, I'm not particularly interested in what you think, Chase." Aaron cut him off smoothly. "Or what you feel. Or what justifications you've created to explain your actions." Mary turned to her husband, her voice even. "Did you enjoy the hotel last weekend? The one charged to our joint credit card?" Chase's expression hardened. "Mary, this isn't the place." "Where's the place, Chase?" Mary asked. "Our home, where you promised fidelity." "The marriage counselor's office you refused to visit?" "Where, exactly, would you prefer to discuss your betrayal?" Ashley's face had gone pale again. "Aaron, please. People are staring." "Yes, they are," Aaron acknowledged. "Witnesses to this moment. Appropriate, don't you think?" At that moment, Lydia approached their table, carrying a silver-covered dish. "Your special dessert, as requested," she announced, placing it ceremoniously in the center of the table. "We didn't order dessert," Chase said, confusion momentarily overriding his discomfort. "Compliments of your hosts," Lydia replied, gesturing toward Aaron and Mary before stepping back. Aaron reached forward and removed the silver cover. Instead of dessert, the platter held an arrangement of printed photographs, hotel receipts, and text message transcripts. In the center, a card bore a handwritten message. To loyalty, now a thing of the past. Ashley gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Chase's face darkened with anger as he recognized the evidence of their affair laid out for all to see. "What the hell is this?" he demanded, voice rising despite the public setting. Evidence, Aaron replied simply, of months of deception, of calculated betrayal. He turned to Ashley, of the death of whatever we once had. Aaron, Ashley pleaded, tears welling in her eyes. We could talk about this privately. This is cruel, cruel, Mary interjected. Was it kind to lie to our faces? To steal our time, our trust, our dignity? The restaurant had grown quiet, other diners now openly watching the drama unfold. Aaron felt no satisfaction, only a cold certainty that justice was being served. I filed for divorce, he told Ashley calmly. The papers will be delivered Monday. I've documented everything, the affair, the lies, the timeline. Fighting it would be futile. Ashley's tears spilled over. Aaron, please. This isn't you. You don't do things this way. You don't know me anymore, Aaron replied. Perhaps you never did. Chase, recovering from his initial shock, leaned forward aggressively. You've made your point. Now, leave us alone. Actually, Mary said, pulling a folder from her purse, we're not quite finished. She removed several documents, sliding them toward Chase. Financial records from a gym. Client accounts you've been skimming from for months. Quite systematically, I must say. The color drained from Chase's face. That's a lie. The investigators didn't think so, Mary replied. Nor did the police when I filed the report this morning. Ashley stared at Chase in shock. What is she talking about? Chase grabbed Ashley's wrist. Don't listen to her. She's making this up. Aaron's voice cut through the tension. She's not. And you knew, Ashley. The transfers to your private account show you knew. Ashley's expression confirmed it before her words could deny it. Guilt, panic, the realization that she was implicated in something far worse than an affair. I didn't, she began. Save it for the authorities, Mary interrupted. The evidence has already been provided to them. Chase stood abruptly, towering over the table. You fucking bitch, he snarled at Mary. You had no right. Sit down, Mr. Landon. Lydia's voice commanded from behind him, where she stood with the restaurant's security guard. Or you'll be escorted out. Immediately. The threat of further public humiliation forced Chase back into his seat, though rage continued to radiate from him. Aaron stood, buttoning his jacket calmly. We're finished here, he announced. In every possible way. Mary rose beside him with equal dignity. Enjoy explaining the embezzlement charges, she told Chase. I hear the gym's owner is particularly upset. As they turned to leave, Ashley reached for Aaron's arm. Aaron, wait. You can't just. He looked down at her hand, then into her eyes. Goodbye, Ashley. The finality in his tone made her recoil, as if struck. Aaron and Mary walked away together, leaving chaos in their wake. Behind them, they could hear Ashley's muffled sobs and Chase's angry muttering as they tried to process what had just happened at the restaurant entrance. Lydia approached them one last time. Was it what you needed? She asked Aaron quietly. It was necessary, he replied. Thank you for your help. Outside in the cool evening air, Aaron and Mary stood silent for a moment, the adrenaline of confrontation beginning to ebb. Are you all right? Aaron asked finally. Mary nodded, a strange smile playing at her lips. Better than I expected. You, the same. He offered his hand. Thank you for your partnership in this. She shook it firmly. We make a formidable team, Aaron Whitmore. That we do, Mary Landon. They parted ways without further words, each heading toward a future suddenly unburdened by deception, but heavy with new realities. The night air felt cleaner somehow, as if the truth had cleared away some invisible pollution. Aaron walked to his car, the weight of his wedding ring noticeable for the first time in years. Tomorrow, he would remove it. Tonight, it remained as a reminder of what had been lost and what had been gained in its place. Clarity. Truth. Freedom. The weekend passed in strange stillness. Aaron remained in the house, while Ashley stayed elsewhere with Naomi, perhaps, or more likely with Chase, though that relationship now seemed doomed by circumstances beyond the affair itself. She called repeatedly Saturday morning. Aaron let the calls go to voicemail, listening to her increasingly desperate messages with clinical detachment. Aaron, please. We need to talk. This isn't fair. You blindsided me. The thing with Chase's finances. I didn't know the extent of it. You have to believe me. And finally, By Sunday, the police call me in for questioning. Aaron, please. I need your help. He deleted each message after listening, making notes for his attorney, but feeling nothing beyond a distant pity for the woman he'd once loved with absolute trust. Monday morning brought a call from Mary. Have you seen the news? Aaron hadn't. At her suggestion, he checked the local news website to find a small but pointed story. Local fitness trainer arrested on embezzlement charges. The article mentioned Chase by name, noting that client funds had been systematically diverted over a period of 18 months. No mention of Ashley, but that would likely change as the investigation progressed. How are you holding up? Mary asked. Focused. Aaron replied truthfully. The divorce papers are being delivered today. You, relieved, strangely enough. It's over. No more pretending. They spoke briefly about practical matters, changing locks, separating accounts, the mechanics of dismantling shared lives. There was comfort in these details, an ordered process of ending what had once seemed permanent. After the call, Aaron went to work as usual, ignoring curious glances from colleagues who'd heard rumors about Friday night. The structured environment of the office provided welcome normalcy amid personal chaos. At mid-afternoon, his phone rang. Ashley, calling from an unfamiliar number. After brief consideration, he answered. Aaron. Her voice was raw, as if she'd been crying for hours. They served me the papers. At work. In front of everyone. Standard procedure, he replied evenly. It was humiliating. A bitter laugh. Though I suppose that was the point. Aaron closed his office door for privacy. What do you want, Ashley? A chance to explain. To apologize. Neither is necessary. Damn it, Aaron. Her composure shattered. 8 years of marriage. And you can just shut down like this? Like I never mattered. The accusation stirred something in him, not guilt, but a flash of genuine anger that he allowed himself to express. You made your choices, Ashley. For months. Calculated, deliberate choices to betray everything we built. I made mistakes. No. Aaron cut her off. Mistakes are accidental. You lie to my face daily. You created elaborate cover stories. You knew what Chase was doing with those funds and said nothing. Those aren't mistakes. They're character. Silence stretched between them, broken only by her uneven breathing. The police think I was involved, she finally said. In Chase's embezzlement. Were you? Another long pause. Not directly. I knew he was doing something with client accounts, but I told myself it wasn't my business. And the money he transferred to your private account. He said it was his commission. Bonus money. Her voice shrank. I wanted to believe him. Aaron closed his eyes, momentarily exhausted by the layers of deception. Talk to a lawyer, Ashley. I can't help you with this. Can't or won't. The question held no accusation, only sad recognition. Both, Aaron admitted. Goodbye, Ashley. He ended the call, returning to his computer screen and the code that made sense in ways people never would. Clean, logical, predictable. No hidden agendas, no betrayals. Just cause and effect, action and consequence. That evening, Aaron met Will and Evan at a quiet bar downtown, their first gathering since the explosive dinner at Riviera. Will arrived first, greeting Aaron with a bear hug that conveyed more understanding than words could have. Heard it got intense, Will said as they took their seats. That's one word for it. Aaron ordered scotch, neat. Naomi's devastated, Will added. Ashley's been staying with her. I assumed as much. She told Naomi everything. About Chase, the money, all of it. Will shook his head. Ashley says she's going to cooperate with the investigation. Turn witness against Chase. Aaron nodded, unsurprised. Self-preservation had always been Ashley's strength. Evan arrived, clapping a hand on Aaron's shoulder before sitting. The man of the hour. Hardly. Aaron demurred. Are you kidding? You're practically a legend at the gym. Evan grinned. The guy who took down the crooked trainer and his accomplice in one move. I didn't do it for the attention. No. Evan agreed, his expression sobering. You did it because it was necessary. The three men drank in companionable silence for a moment, the background noise of the bar washing over them. What's next? Will finally asked. After the divorce is final? Aaron considered the question. Work. Travel, maybe. I haven't thought much beyond getting through this part. You should take some time off. Evan suggested. Clear your head. Maybe. The conversation drifted to safer topic: sports, Evan's new motorcycle, Will's promotion. Normal life continuing despite the seismic shifts in Aaron's personal landscape. The evening wound down. Will pulled Aaron aside while Evan settled the tab. You doing okay? Really? Aaron nodded slowly. I'm better than I expected to be. Emptier in some ways, more solid in others. You handled it like you handle everything. Methodically. It was the only way I knew how. Will studied his friend. Just don't let this turn you cold, man. Not everyone betrays the people they love. Aaron managed a small smile. I know. You and Naomi are proof of that. Speaking of Naomi, Will hesitated. She wants you to know she's sorry for not telling you sooner. Tell her I understand. Loyalty is complicated. As they prepared to leave, Aaron's phone buzzed with a text from Mary Landon. Chase may bail. Moving in with his brother temporarily. Thought you should know. Aaron showed the message to Evan and Will. You think he's a threat? Evan asked, instantly protective. No, Aaron replied confidently. He's a narcissist, not a fighter. He'll focus on saving himself. Outside the bar, the three men parted ways with promises to meet again soon. Aaron drove home to his empty house, noticing for the first time that Ashley had returned while he was out and taken some of her clothes. A cosmetics bag missing from the bathroom. Her favorite books gone from the shelf. The dismantling had begun in earnest. Aaron moved through the house, opening windows to let in the cool night air, as if trying to clear the space of lingering deception. In the bedroom, he finally removed his wedding ring, placing it in a drawer where he wouldn't have to see it. Not a symbolic gesture of closure. Aaron didn't believe in such things, but a practical acknowledgement of changed circumstances. The ring no longer represented anything real. As he prepared for bed, his phone buzzed again. Another text from Mary. Thank you for everything. It's strange, but I feel more myself than I have in years. Aaron understood exactly what she meant. Likewise, he replied. Strange days ahead, but honest ones, came her response. Finally, Aaron put down his phone and turned off the light, lying in darkness that felt cleaner somehow than before. The storm had broken. The damage was done. What remained was rebuilding on foundations of truth this time, not illusion. That he slept without dreams for the first time in months. 1 week after the confrontation at Riviera, Aaron sat in his attorney's office, reviewing the proposed divorce settlement. Rebecca Chun, a sharp-featured woman with 20 years of experience handling high-conflict divorces, walked him through the details with clinical precision. Given the circumstances and the evidence you provided, Ms. Whitmore has limited grounds to contest anything, Rebecca explained. Her attorney is pushing for a better division of assets, but we're holding firm. Aaron nodded, scanning the documents. And my conditions? Non-negotiable, as requested. She retains her personal accounts minus any funds demonstrably connected to Mr. Landon's activities. She forfeits claim to the house, your retirement accounts, and stock options. She gets her car, personal items, and the accounts in her name that aren't implicated in the investigation. What's her position on the timeline? Rebecca allowed herself a small smile. She wants this over quickly, especially given the ongoing criminal investigation. She's agreed to the expedited process. Good. Aaron signed the papers Rebecca indicated, each signature another step toward resolution. As they concluded their meeting, Rebecca hesitated. Mr. Whitmore, I've handled hundreds of divorces. Most clients in your position would be angry, vindictive. You're remarkably contained. Anger clouds judgment. Aaron replied simply. I prefer clarity. Well, your clarity has positioned you advantageously. I'll file these today. Aaron thanked her and left, checking his phone to find a voicemail from an unfamiliar number. Detective Marcus Rivera, Portland Police Department, requesting a meeting. Interesting. Aaron had provided information about Chase's embezzlement anonymously through an encrypted email account. He hadn't expected direct police contact. He returned the call immediately. Detective Rivera answered on the second ring. Mr. Whitmore, thank you for getting back to me. Could you come to the station this afternoon? There have been developments in the Landon case you should be aware of. I'm available at 3. Aaron confirmed. Curiosity piqued. The police station was busier than Aaron expected. Officers, and civilians moving through the lobby with purpose. Detective Rivera met him personally, a compact man with salt and pepper hair and assessing eyes that missed nothing. "Appreciate you coming in," Rivera said, leading Aaron to a small but private conference room rather than an interrogation space. "Coffee?" "No, thank you." Aaron took the offered seat, maintaining his usual composed exterior despite his curiosity. "You mentioned developments?" Rivera nodded, opening a folder on the table between them. "Let me be direct, Mr. Whitmore. We know you were the anonymous source who provided the initial evidence against Chase Landon." Aaron didn't deny it. Ow. The manner of delivery was anonymous, but the information itself could only have come from someone with specific knowledge of both the personal and financial situations involved. Rivera studied Aaron's face. "Your divorce filing against your wife the same day we received the evidence was suggestive." "I see. Am I in some kind of trouble, detective?" "Not at all. In fact, you've helped break open a case significantly larger than we initially understood." Rivera pushed several photographs across the table, surveillance images of Chase meeting with men Aaron didn't recognize. Landon's embezzlement was just the surface. He was moving money for these gentlemen, using the gym as a laundering operation. Aaron examined the photos with genuine surprise. "I had no idea. Few did. But once we started pulling threads." Rivera shrugged. "Your wife claims she knew only about the client account skimming, not the larger operation. And do you believe her?" "We're still determining the extent of her involvement." Rivera's expression revealed nothing. "She's cooperating, providing information about Landon's contacts, schedules, behaviors. Self-preservation," Aaron commented, not bothering to hide his assessment. Rivera acknowledged this with a slight nod. "She's facing potential charges of accessory after the fact, possibly financial fraud. Less serious than Landon's charges, but still significant." Aaron absorbed this information, connecting it to Ashley's increasingly desperate attempts to contact him over the past week. Now her motivation was clear: she needed his help, or at least his sympathy, as her legal situation deteriorated. "What exactly do you need from me, detective?" "Context," Rivera replied. "Background on when your wife's behavior changed, when money patterns shifted, when new acquaintances entered the picture. Anything that might help establish a timeline." Aaron provided what information he could: dates, observations, patterns he'd noticed without fully understanding their significance. Rivera took careful notes, occasionally asking clarifying questions. "You're very observant, Mr. Whitmore," the detective commented as their meeting concluded. "Most people miss these details." "I pay attention to patterns," Aaron said simply. "When they change, I notice." As Aaron prepared to leave, Rivera had one final question. "You didn't seem surprised about your wife's involvement with Landon's activities. Did you suspect the financial aspect of their relationship?" Aaron considered this carefully. "I suspected she knew more than she claimed. The extent of it, that was unexpected." Outside the police station, Aaron sat in his car for several minutes, processing this new information. The affair had been painful enough, a betrayal of trust and vows. But this Ashley's willingness to overlook or even participate in financial crimes revealed a stranger he'd never truly known despite 8 years of marriage. His phone rang. Mary Landon. "The police contacted me," she said without preamble. "Did they reach out to you too?" "Just left the station," Aaron confirmed. "Money laundering, apparently." Mary's bitter laugh carried through the phone. "Of course. Chase always needed more money, more admiration, more everything. Legal means were too limiting." "Did you suspect?" "Not money laundering specifically, but something beyond the embezzlement. Too many unexplained deposits, too many meetings with men he called investors." She paused. "I'm selling the gallery." The abrupt change of subject caught Aaron off guard. "Why?" "Fresh start. Portland has too many ghosts now. I've been offered a partnership in a gallery in Seattle." "That sounds promising." "It is." Her voice softened slightly. "I wanted to thank you, Aaron. Your approach to all this, it gave me a framework when everything was falling apart." "We helped each other," Aaron acknowledged, surprised by the genuine connection he felt with this woman he'd known for such a short time under such unusual circumstances. "Yes, we did." Mary hesitated. One last piece of information you should have. Ashley came to see me yesterday. Aaron's grip tightened on the phone. Why? To beg me to intervene with you. To convince you to help her with a legal situation. She seems to think I have some influence. And what did you tell her? That she made her choices and now must face their consequences. Just as Chase must face his. The echo of Aaron's own philosophy wasn't lost on him. Thank you for telling me. We strange allies should stick together. Mary's tone lightened. Goodbye, Aaron Whitmore. I hope you find peace. You as well, Mary Landon. After the call ended, Aaron sat watching people move in and out of the police station, officers, civilians, each carrying their own complex stories. The twist in his own story had been unexpected, revealing layers of deception beyond what he'd imagined. Yet strangely, it provided a kind of closure. The woman he'd married, the woman he'd thought he knew, had never really existed. The knowledge was oddly freeing confirmation that the path he'd chosen, the clean break he'd engineered, had been necessary. Aaron started his car and drove away from the station, away from one more piece of the past. Ahead lay uncertainty, but also possibility. And for now, that was enough. 3 weeks after the revelation at Riviera, Portland settled into early summer. The rain gave way to sunshine, trees filled with fresh green leaves, and the city emerged from its perpetual dampness with renewed energy. Aaron sat at an outdoor table at Riviera, now transformed from the scene of confrontation to neutral territory. Lydia Carver joined him, setting down 2 glasses of iced tea before taking the seat across from him. The patio looks good, Aaron commented, gesturing to the newly installed deck with its hanging plants and string lights. Business picking up with the weather. Better than expected, Lydia confirmed, studying him with friendly concern. You look well. Better than the last time you were here. I feel better. Aaron took a sip of his tea. Things are settling. I hear the divorce is almost final. News traveled quickly in their circles. Next week, Aaron confirmed. Faster than usual, but circumstances expedited things. Lydia nodded, understanding the understatement. Ashley's growing legal troubles and desire to finish the divorce before her potential criminal trial had removed many of the usual obstacles. The embezzlement investigation had expanded, with Chase now facing serious federal charges and Ashley negotiating a plea deal as a cooperating witness. And work? Still keeping you busy. Actually, I've taken a leave of absence. 3 months. Lydia's eyebrows rose in surprise. You? Voluntarily stepping away from work? Now that's a development I didn't expect. Aaron smiled slightly. It surprised me too, but it seemed necessary. What will you do with all that free time? Travel. Some, Aaron acknowledged. But I also wanted to discuss something with you. A proposition. Lydia leaned forward, intrigued. I'm listening. You mentioned expanding. Opening a second location in the Pearl District. It's been the plan for years, but funding has been the challenge. Aaron nodded. I'd like to propose a partnership. Investment capital in exchange for partial ownership. Silent partner, primarily, though I might have some ideas to contribute on the business side. Lydia stared at him, clearly caught off guard. You want to invest in restaurants? That's unexpected. I want to invest in something tangible, Aaron corrected. Something that builds community rather than just financial returns. Your restaurant does that. The restaurant business is risky, even in good times. I'm aware of the statistics. I've done my research. Of course he had. Lydia shook her head with a small smile. Why this? Why now? Aaron considered the question carefully. Recent events have clarified certain priorities. Work has always been my focus, but it's not enough. I need connection, purpose beyond code, and software architecture. And you think you'll find that in the restaurant business? I think I'll find part of it there. Aaron met her gaze directly. The rest, I'm still figuring out. Lydia sat back, really looking at the man across from her. In the years she'd known Aaron Whitmore, he'd always been controlled, precise, somewhat detached. The man before her now retained that essential composure, but seemed more present somehow, more engaged with the world around him. Let me think about it, she finally said. Come by next week, we'll talk numbers and vision. Fair enough. As they finished their tea, Lydia asked the question Aaron had been fielding from friends and colleagues for weeks. Are you okay, Aaron? Really okay? For once, he didn't offer the automatic affirmation. I'm recalibrating, learning to trust my judgment again, despite having been so wrong about something so fundamental. You weren't wrong, Lydia countered. You trusted someone who proved untrustworthy. That's on her, not you. Aaron nodded, accepting her perspective without fully embracing it. Either way, I'm moving forward. After leaving Riviera, Aaron drove to the Pearl District, parking near Landon Gallery now under new management as Mary pursued her fresh start in Seattle. The space had been renamed, rebranded, the connection to the scandal deliberately severed. Yet on the back wall hung a familiar, painting the shattered mirror reflecting multiple distorted images that he and Mary had discussed during their first meeting. He stood before it, appreciating the symbolism with new insight. Beautiful piece, isn't it? Aaron turned to find Will beside him. It is. What brings you here? Meeting you, obviously. Will grinned. Evan said you wanted to talk, suggested I find you here first. Evan talks too much, Aaron replied without heat. Let's grab coffee. At a nearby cafe, they claimed a corner table, the familiar routine of friendship providing comfort amid so much change. So, Will began. Naomi tells me Ashley's taking the plea deal. 6 months, probably less with good behavior. Aaron nodded. Best outcome she could hope for, given the circumstances. And the house. Sold. Closed yesterday. Will raised his eyebrows. Fast work. Where will you go? Rented a loft downtown for now. Furnished. Short term. Gives me time to figure out next steps. Like the restaurant investment. Will's expression turned skeptical. Evan mentioned that too. Since when are you interested in the service industry? Aaron shrugged. Since I realized I needed something beyond algorithms and interface design. Midlife crisis hitting early. Will teased, though concern lurked beneath the humor. Evolution, not crisis, Aaron corrected. The past months forced a reevaluation. I'm just following through. Will studied his friend. You seem different. Not bad different. Just not the Aaron I've known for 15 years. People change, Aaron said simply. Sometimes by choice, sometimes by circumstance, and sometimes by betrayal, Will added quietly. Aaron acknowledged this with a slight nod. I won't let what happened define me, but I won't pretend it didn't change me either. Fair enough. Will lifted his cup in a small toast. To evolution, then. They finished their coffee discussing lighter matters, Will's children's latest exploits, Evan's new motorcycle, the upcoming Blazer season. Normal life continuing, as it always did, regardless of personal earthquakes. As they prepare to leave, Will hesitated. One more thing you should know. Naomi ran into Mary Landon last week, before she left for Seattle. Oh, she asked about you. Seemed genuinely concerned for your well-being. Aaron absorbed this with mild surprise. We shared an unusual experience. Unusual enough to stay in touch. Will's expression was carefully neutral, but the question held layers. I hadn't planned to. Maybe you should. Will shrugged. Just a thought. They parted ways outside the cafe. Will heading home to his family, Aaron to his temporary loft. The space was modern, minimal, a blank slate that suited his current state of mind. No history, no memories. Just possibility. On his laptop, Aaron found an email from Rebecca Chun confirming the final divorce hearing date. Another from Detective Rivera requesting a follow-up interview regarding the expanding case against Chase Landon. A third from a property management company with listings in several Portland neighborhoods. Life reorganizing itself around new parameters. After responding to the necessary messages, Aaron hesitated, then opened a new email. To Mary Landon. Brief, straightforward, asking how the Seattle transition was proceeding, that he sent it without overthinking. Then moved to the loft's large windows overlooking the city. Portland spread before him, familiar yet somehow new. The same buildings, streets, and bridges, but viewed from a different angle, a different perspective. His phone buzzed with a text from Evan. Dinner tomorrow? Bringing someone you should meet. Aaron smiled slightly at his brother's transparent attempt at matchmaking. Too soon, he texted back. But dinner, yes. Another buzz. This time an email notification. Mary had responded already, her message similarly brief but warm. She was settling in well. The Seattle gallery partners were welcoming. The rain was even more persistent than Portland's. And yes, she'd like to stay in touch. Aaron closed his laptop, returning to the window view. The early evening light cast long shadows across the city, golden hour transforming the urban landscape. Below, people moved along sidewalks, into restaurants, returning home, or heading out for the night. Lives intersecting, diverging, continuing. He thought of Ashley briefly, wondering where she was at this moment, what she was thinking as her carefully constructed world collapsed around her. Not with satisfaction or vindication, but with a distant, almost academic curiosity. She had become a chapter in his story, not the narrative itself. His reflection in the window looked back at him familiar, yet subtly changed. The same features, the same composed expression, but something different in the eyes. Not hardness, exactly, but clarity. Resolve. Aaron turned from the window, reaching for his notebook where he'd been sketching ideas for Lydia's second restaurant location. Life continued. Not the life he'd planned or expected, but perhaps a more authentic one to some tables you build, some you burn. And sometimes, from the ashes, you create something new, something stronger, more honest, more uniquely yours. In the gathering dusk of a Portland summer evening, Aaron Whitmore began to build again.